This video is going to be about doing some basic graphing with Excel that is useful in chemistry. So right now I have a blank workbook and I'm going to want to go ahead and type in my data here. So I'm going to put time, we have amount of A, amount of B, and then we have ratio of A to B. So I'm just going to name all of these columns here. Now there are multiple trials in this, so what I'm going to do is just insert a row above, and I'm going to grab these guys and I'm going to click on this merge and center button, and then I'm just going to write trial 1. So that way my data can stay all organized and I can do trial 2 over here and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the time. Now we could just type 10, 20, or I'm sorry, 0, 20, 40, and so on. But basically each one changes by 20. So if you wanted to go and type and do it like this, you can. But a shortcut would be to put an equal sign, click on the cell above. So I've grabbed that 100 and then put plus 20. So this is going to do in this cell 100 plus 20, which is 120. And now that I've typed that equation in, I can grab this guy and drag it down however far I need to. In this case, we're going down to 300, so I can have my time all calculated like that, nice and quick. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy over some data here from the activity. And the last few cells are all going to be 64, or I'm sorry, are all going to be 36. So I'm just going to grab this guy and drag it down, and that fills all of those cells with the 36. And just check my data here. So I've got 46, 45, 44, 42, 41, 41, 42, 42, 39, 38, and then the rest are 36. Okay, now I know that there's a total of 100 particles, so I could do, 54 and 55, and I could type it in this way, or I could use that equation again and do 100 minus the amount of A, and that should give me the amount of B, which in this case is 56. So I can very quickly get all those data into my spreadsheet here. Now, if I want to calculate this ratio, I can do this very quickly. I'm just going to do equal to A divided by, I did a slash sign there, and then I'm going to click on B, and that will calculate this number divided by this number in this cell. And so I can calculate this all at once. If I want to take down those decimals, I can use this button over here. So we see that at some point we end up with a ratio that is constant. That's going to be important. So now we want to make a graph of A versus B versus time. So this is what you do. You're going to grab your X column first. So for me, that's time. And then I want to have two lines on one graph. So I'm going to hit Control and select A and B as well. So I want to grab all of those together. And then I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Charts, and you can pick the kind that you want here. We're going to do a scatter with smooth lines. So there we go. There's our graph. I like to make sure that I have titles on my axis. So I click this plus sign and check off axis title. And then I can type in. And there we go. So we can give this a title. We can do our X versus Y title, or we could give this something like trial 1, something like that, so we know which one is which. So there's a legend on here. There's a graph for trial 1. So where is equilibrium happening on this trial? If you notice, we come to a point where that ratio is constant and the graph is flat. So that's where equilibrium has been achieved.